Welcome back, everyone, to the Complete Pine Leaf, where today we are going to be looking for copper, because that is just about the only thing I have left to find. Is to get that. I have some raw cod right here, and I think cooked cod and copper are the only things that I am missing. Yes, that's what it looks like. The question is, how am I going to get this copper? Now, it's probably going to involve a great deal of mining. Let's take a quick look at the magic realm to see if I wind up in a place that is useful. I'm not completely familiar with what goes on in the various areas here. I forgot which area we've got right here. Let's get back over here. Because see, that's a dead forest. I'm not too fond of the dead forest. This is where we've got all sorts of. Actually, I think I've been in all the biomes. So this, I think, includes minerals all over the place if you go underground, is I think the impression I got. So what happens if I try to go underground and preferably avoiding those guys? Uh, well, this is not what I expected, but all right. Because I was hoping that this would have something useful below it. And unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. Oh, no, not, don't throw away the furnace. Uh, why did I have to come here? Just trying to get a torch out first. Now, let's see. And I was thinking that maybe. Now, I think the announcer said that this area is supposed to have some rare minerals in it. Now, copper's not all that rare of a mineral, so copper might actually not be all that available in this area. But I thought, let's have a check in it. Let's satisfy our curiosity on that, since the other choice is to be in the regular world and just mine forever, which is probably what I'm going to have to be doing in the end, because really, Ed, 90 weathered copper, and I've got 23 out of 90 that I need. I mean, where did he think of having us, especially the fact that we've got to get it weathered? I mean, that is really asking a great deal of us, if you ask me. And this place has absolutely nothing of use. I think that this was a bad idea, that I'm not going to find anything here. I think the one thing, I think this is the biome where he said that you will be able to find infused gold or something like that. But, well, I mean, gold infused blackstone or something like that. But, right, well, I don't see anything that looks like that. Or maybe, see, where are the biomes? Because I think there are 3 biomes. Oh, hold on. Well, let's see. We don't need the orange terracotta. We don't need the deep slate. 3 raw copper. All right. Well, all right. So there is some copper here. Doesn't seem to be any more than you have in a regular place, but let's see if that impression changes as I go through here. But at least we're going to get some copper here. I was thinking for a moment there that there wouldn't be any. But a little bit of copper, I guess, is a lot better than none. Ooh, there's a little bit there too. All right. See, we're at 24, so we're at 47 total between the two. Okie dokie. Whether that was a coincidence or you actually get more copper here. I don't know, but let's continue on our way and maybe we can get a little bit more. And yeah, I'm not going to worry about the iron because we've got... ooh. Magma blocks! Well, I suppose I should have expected those considering that we have all these magma cubes bouncing all over the place. Well, whether I am doing all that searching here or in the overworld, I guess doesn't matter all that much. This orange terracotta is. Right. Now, what I am going to be needing are some torches. 3, 4. Because I'm going to need plenty of light. Good. And I'm also going to be needing cobbled deep. I don't need any of the cobbled deep slate because we've already got what we need in that department. So it's time to continue on searching, finding copper wherever I may find it, and eventually I'll find out whether I was just lucky for that little bit that I got there, or if I find it at a good rate. Before I do that, I think I'm going to need to. Oh. Actually, while I'm here, let's just put this here. Get ourselves a nice... Actually, don't I already have a furnace? Don't know where it's at. Well, it's all moot now because I do have this one here. I might as well start cooking that so I don't have to be cooking all that at the end. And if I do have a second furnace in here, if I do have one, I don't see it. So let's go to our planks there. And put this here. Good. Let's see. What do we want to dump? Raw salmon. I'll hold on that for a slight moment, just in case it comes in handy. Dark oak logs, these spruce planks. Well, okay, I'll worry about that later. Stone, we don't need the stone. We don't need the granite. Don't need the andesite. What I do need is a bunch of... And I don't need this block of deep slate coal. Because it's not coal I'm looking for. It is copper I'm looking for. And it's time for us to find a place not infested with coal and find out if we can find some more of this copper. It's got to be here somewhere. Maybe behind all these magma... This is an entire vein of magma blocks or something like that. Oh boy, well, at least I know where to go for magma blocks. Right. Okay, we don't need the magma blocks either. Actually, what else have we got? A cobbled deep slate. Then just add another furnace. And that way I can cook up the fish. And anything else that needs cooking along here? Oh, I do have some raw iron also to cook up. If I knew I had the iron also, I would have done it that way. Well, live and learn. Now, let's go along and continue on our way and find out if there is any more copper in this area. Good. I'm not looking for magma cubes. Magma cubes seem to be everywhere. This thing seems to have a strange profile for what things it's going to find under here. I have a feeling that bit of copper we found earlier was just nothing but a lucky moment. It had nothing to do with which dimension we were in. But, oh well. That's... am I... Oh, I hate cutting through granite. It's such a pain. Like, I'm just surrounded by the worst. Yeah. This is worse than digging in the overworld. Alright, well, I'll just stay here for a little bit longer, at least long enough for that to cook. But once that's finished cooking, I think I am going back. Unless I find a lot more copper than I have so far. And something tells me that's not going to be happening. But... alright? Well... actually, how is this in its weathering state? This is just copper block. Okay, fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, really. Of all the things that happened, I definitely wasn't expecting that. Now, this is, of course, all superfluous now because I've got all that. Oh, boy. All right, fine. We'll just grab that, and now I need to weather it a bit. Where's the best place to go around weathering copper? Now, I suppose it is possible that there could be weathered copper down here somewhere, but I'm not going to make that assumption at the moment. Now, is there a way to quickly weather copper? I suspect not, because it seems to be counter to the entire point of how the thing operates. Okay, so let's go around here. Let's get a little light here, a little light here, and let's drop off. We need 10 of these. I mean, really, I was not expecting to run into copper blocks down here. But I guess that answers my question on would it be easier here. Now this one is... right. Okay, I guess that's just a trick of the light, right? And now I've got to wait for these to start weathering. That one might already be doing so, or it's a trick of the light, as I said before. So let's... I mean, it's going to be a matter of waiting for it to happen and being able to recognize it. Yeah, that was just tricky light. They'll start to turn green. That's all I got to say about that. Actually, what I'll do is I might as well convert these into copper blocks also. So I got 6 more of these. And that way, if I have 16 of them, then it'll give me a better opportunity to get them weathered properly. And as soon as they're weathered, I'll have to mine it and get into my inventory, since I don't want it to go to the final stage, because there are 4 stages, I believe, or something like that, and the weathered is the 3rd stage. And of course, right now we are at the 1st stage. So it's going to be a waiting game. And how many of these 16 blocks are going to just tick away and slowly weather? Now, I hope you don't have to be outside. In other words, being underground, I hope, isn't a thing that's going to block it. I don't know, and I guess we're going to have to sit along, wait, and wait, and... oh, hold on. While I am waiting, I should have thought about that when I had the fire out there before. Yes, I guess I could use the final piece of spruce over there. Let's see. It's being able to recognize it when it really starts to weather. But it will take on a distinctly greenish tint when it starts to do so. All right, we'll take the cod and we will put that right over here. So all we have is to get some weathered copper. This, I think, is going to take a while. It's been quite a bit of time here and still no sign of weathering either on these or any of these. I have looked at as many of these as possible and none of them are showing any signs of oxidation. So I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment as I'm going to grab one or two of them and see what happens if I take a couple of them, move them out of the area and put them by themselves and see if that makes any difference. So I'm not going to be putting them here. Now, of course, I suspect that what I did is going to reset their counters, whatever they are. But that is something that has to be lived with. So I'll put one here and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I'll put those two there. So I'll just have a few that are a bit hidden, and just in case they oxidize more quickly when by themselves. Here are all sorts of things that you know exactly what is the formula for them. I tried reading it on the wiki or something like this. I said, all right, and that means what? Very well. So I'll just run an experiment, see how long this takes. But I'll keep these out here. And we'll go find if they oxidize any faster. And if they do, it'll be a pretty sound result considering that I suspect that all these had their timers reset as opposed to, due to what I did on there. So I don't know if it is, but of course it's randomized, so who knows. All I know is this is going to be taking some more time. Hold up here. What do we have? This, I think, is a exposed, is it called? Exposed copper. So that one's reached the first stage, but we needed to get it all the way up to weathered. All right, so that one has gone, and that's the first one to change over, and that was one of the ones that I put out and isolated. So that supports the hypothesis that being away from other non-weathered blocks is a plus there. Now I think that being near some other weathered ones might increase your chances of changing over. But that's really risky. Actually, I think you can set it back one by using an axe. So what I'll do is I'm going to grab a couple more. I don't want to put too many next to it at a time. So I think that being next to one that's already changed over increases the chances of you changing over. But it's sort of a case of the more the merrier. So I'll just do this. We might as well do some experimentation, and that one changed over also. So that's 2 of them. Well, all these, they seem to be keeping each other nice and clean. So there is definitely some merit to the hypothesis that putting one alone gives it a better chance of changing over. Putting it, now I want to see if putting it near this will do that. There we go. There you go. We have to wait for that. I think the next stage is going to be a little bit greenish on that. I might as well start preparing this one just in case it changes over. Now, I have to get to the third stage before I'm going to be able to consider it already. These are still waiting to be changed over. So yes, it's still going to take some time, but I'll just see if this methodology helps us to shorten that time, because this is already going to probably break records for our longest Mage Rage, simply because I'm waiting for copper to oxidize. Really. Look at this. The second block is already turned. We still have this, which is all still pristine. All of this is still pristine. And yet this one already has the second block done. So we are going to give this one a third one. Now I have to be careful here. Actually, I want to see if I can get those to go to the third stage before I put another block in that area. Oh, actually, and both of these are done. So let's see if one of these can go to the third stage. Then I'll start putting more blocks next to it in order maybe to use the close company hypothesis in here, because there we go, one I gave it a little company. So that means we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are exposed. So we need them to get to another stage to be weathered. And that will take a little bit of time. Actually, considering the results I've been getting on that experiment, I think I'm going to start grabbing some of these and making sure that there are no more than 2. I guess I'll have 2 there, but I'm certainly not going to have the large numbers I had before. And I'm just going to scatter these all over the place, and maybe, just maybe, I could encourage them to do a little oxidation, right? Oh, must be a place I've been before, right? Yeah. Ooh, I put this one right in a corner by itself, and look at this. Is this at weathered? Yes, this is at weathered. Our first weathered block. Now we need a few more of these. We still have several of these scattered all over the place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 of the 10 that are exposed. At least we have 10 that are exposed, which means that they can also turn into weathered blocks at some point and help to finish things off. But it means, yes, more waiting. And if you're wondering how this room is doing, where we have a huge number of clean ones all together, nah, they're not budging. It pretty much confirms the hypothesis that weathering and oxidizing does not like company. Oops. This one went a little bit too far. I think, though, that an axe is able to bring it back down to the weathered level. Yes, now it's weathered again. So if it goes too far, I can undo it by hitting it on the back with an axe. And this one looks like it's weathered for number 3. I found another one of these rooms with, I think I found 3 of those rooms in all. But if I want to get them all weathered, I'll have to find a huge amount of space in which to put them all. But it looks like we are finally making progress, and that's good. Finally, at long last, I've got 9 in my inventory. I've got a 10th one right here. Well, I knew this was a long one. 3 hours and 3 minutes and 17 seconds. And at least an hour of that, probably more of it, was spent waiting for copper to oxidize. Now, admittedly, some of that time I was not knowing that I had to separate it out in order for it to work. But when I eventually found that out, I made the adjustments, and eventually, though it still took a great deal of time, probably at least 40 minutes, even after I started separating them, before all of that copper oxidized to what I needed to do. So that was quite a long one. 3 hours? I think that might even be the longest one I've ever had. Most likely, consider what in the world is this? Oh, well, this is a bastion, it looks like. Yep, definitely a bastion. So, what mobs are here? I mean, there's gold here. Well, we do have... okay. Oops, daisy. So those are piglins. Okay, or zombified piglins or something like that, but all around lava in there. We've got gold, we've got some infused gold. No wonder he said that there'll be some infused gold here. They're inside bastions! That's why there's some of that stuff around here. Well, and we have this, and we have this. All sorts of weird things, and even a random amethyst geode. So I don't think that's what he meant when he said you find extra amethyst. Of course, this isn't inside of the amethyst area. I think we saw the amethyst area. Well, we saw it earlier when we were doing our original search. Actually, let's clear out this. Let's see. Let's set this to day. Oh, well, yes, the time is a little weird in this place. And look at this, a mansion? And this is another, or is it the same bastion? So we've got mansions and bastions and all sorts of madness in here. And maybe someday we'll be seeing some of these in other Mage Rages. But that's it for the second week in July for Mage Rage of July 2021.